Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to our Tuesday stream, and today we are going to be looking at a Dark Slayer event. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a couple of things. We're going to take a look at the deck itself. It's not a new mechanic. We've seen it before, and I have the other version, the Earth version, I'm going to show for anybody who doesn't know about this deck, anybody who's new. I'm going to show a similar deck and kind of show you how it works so that you can understand how it works. We're also going to be opening the vault. We're going to be exploring the vault and sort of understand what are the differences this time. It's called the Golden Vault. And so we're going to see what that's all about. And so welcome to the stream, everybody. Thanks for joining me here. And, hopefully it's going to be a good event for me, at least for the pack pulls. It wasn't so good last time. And so if we take a look at the vault here, the first thing you see is that there's a jackpot vault, which isn't new by itself, but it typically doesn't come out until later on in the event. And so now what they've done is they've given you the ability to get a head start on the jackpot. No word yet as to whether or not getting the two star, like 2 pink star or the 4 pink star ultimate form or 3 pink stars is also going to get you a jackpot. So there's really no information about that, but at the very least we know that if you get a golden ticket within your pull, then you'll be able to pull 20 cards, and if you're a VIP you get an additional one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards here. So again, it is a Dark Slayer event, and Slayer events are typically one that is more it's going to be more worth paying for your buck, if you will, for investing in. If you are looking for a good deck, I think that this is not too bad. We can take a look at the cards for sure, and then we can sort of go over the mechanics there. And so we see King Dragon, Vishal, and Kenny Spim, Domino, Bob's. And we got also Bob, I guess that's King Dragon there, Sunday, and Bring Peace to the World, and DJ. Welcome to the stream here. All right, so the ultimate form here is the Draconic Scoundrel. So this is the ultimate form that gets combined when you have the Master Collection card and the Ultra Rare. Now, a question that a lot of new players would always ask is whether or not you're going to lose your cards if you combine. And so it hasn't happened in a long time now, so feel free to go ahead and forge an ultimate form if you have these two cards, because now they use souls. It's going to be a different case for older heroes, and I'll definitely be talking about those in the situation where we are going to be using them. Most likely going to be from the Proving Grounds. But these ones, you don't have to worry about it, just like the Ultimate Form Relic. The Ultimate Relic's the same. You're not going to lose your relics by forming them. Thank you, Domino. I am also looking forward to some good luck there. All right, so Draconic Scoundrels, it is a dragon type. So we've seen dragon types before. We actually have some relics, but never... I guess we've had a dark dragon before, but we never really had a relic that would create power gens based on that. It was a very long time ago, so so the relics weren't as strong then. But so let's take a look here, and we're really not going to be mixing the Generation 2 relics here at this point. I think that there are much better relics for this. And so Arcadian, welcome to the stream here. So let's take a look at the Draconic, right? So the battle skill is Double Trouble. It destroys all non-dark gems and creates 4 power gems 4s, and then 1 for every 5 dark gems on the board. And so this is a really good card where it does well by itself. On its own, it can basically be your gem destroyer, and it will create power gems depending on the number of gems that's on the board. So if you pair it with a card that also increases the gemfall, the dark gemfall, then you're going to get a lot of gems there. Or if you activate this after you've activated other power gem spawners, then this is going to add a lot of power gem force on the board for you as well. So this is actually a card that you would want to activate last. You want to activate, well, I think you'll want to activate this last, and also the ultra rare card, you want to activate them last. You want to activate the other cards ahead of time so you can create the more power gems, let your relics spawn the power gems, and then activate this so you can maximize the numbers there. Okay, and Lee-Shang, you're going to open up your vault after mine, so I wish you best of luck. And TP, you got the tickets on tier 2. That's awesome. And you got 2 gold rewards from it. So that's going to be a good event for you, I guess. So that's really good. Congratulations there. And we got Hansuke and Sleepless. Welcome to the stream here. So what do you guys think of the background here? So this is actually something I got from the from their announcement. So in the announcement, there was a link to how they did the artwork there, and so I thought this is really cool. So I grabbed it for my own use. I'm kind of changing around. Give me feedback and let me know how it looks to you. So anyways, and it also has a passive here that will create a Dark Gem 4, every single turn whenever they cast a debuff. So this also would work well in a commander event where, like, if commander boss is actually casting a debuff, you'll also create more power gems there. So this is a really good card to have. So it is definitely worth it. Okay, and so let's now take a look at the other cards there that makes the ultimate form. And so we've got the ultra rare card, which is called Enriched Vinarg, and this card is basically a card that will spawn power gems just like the ultimate form, depending on the number of gems on the board. And so if you take a look at this skill, it will create 4 power gems force to start. So regardless, you're always going to get 4. And then it creates additional ones for every 5 gems on the board. So having multiple copies of the ultra rare card here is going to be really, really helpful. Like, this type of cards is always going to be useful. Like, these are the type of forever cards that I think will be useful in the future. There are definitely a few in Generation 3, but this is one of those cards that stand well on its own. It pairs really well because there's no other conditions except for gems on the board, and that is always going to be the case for the game anyway. And so this is the type of deck that I think will do well. And so I think that I would encourage you, if you have the dust and you're looking for a good, strong dark deck, this would be a good one to go in. So thank you very much, everybody, for So I kind of wanted to see, like, I wanted to make sure I keep the 3 characters on the bottom and didn't want to block them. So I kind of thought I'd put a border around it, and so this is what I'm working with right now. So Queen Mama, nice to see you in the stream here. Welcome here. All right, and so I think this is also a. Is this the one that also has a passive that increases? Yeah, so this also has a passive. So the Ultra Rare card also has a passive that will moderately increase the drop rate. I can't remember the exact number, but I think moderate is somewhere between 20 to 25%. The person that would know off the top of his head is going to be MTM, so I will ask him if he's on the stream to just enter that information in there. But it's somewhere in that range, between 20 and 30. I think it's also, it might be even lower. Like, so let's say 15 to 30. Okay, so it's not going to be as great as some of the gem rain cards, but this also will help, and this also stacks. So this is why having multiple copies of the ultra rare card will increase the drop rate of all of your dark gems after you've destroyed them, to also give you the ability to then create more power gems there. And so this is going to be a good card to have. And then if you take a look at the Master Collection card, it is a weaker version of the Gem Destroyer, and this is Himnock, Merciless Mercenary. And what this card will do is it'll start with 20 gems. It'll destroy 20 gems to start. And there's 35 gems on the board, and typically there's always going to be at least 4 or 5 dark gems. So it really will destroy about 20 out of 30. Basically, it'll leave about 10 non-dark gems afterwards. So it's not bad. Like, to start with, it destroys 20, and then it'll destroy additional ones for every 30 skill points. So basically, the idea is it will destroy all 35 and the entire thing on the board that's non-dark. But as we know, it's never going to be all perfectly non-dark there, so you're always going to be guaranteed to destroy everything that's on the board. Pair that with the ultra rare card, you're going to have a lot of dark gems on the board there. It also creates 2 power gem 4s, and it also cleanses all debuffs. Now, the cleanse of the debuffs will be shut down by power gem spawn. So basically, any power gem silence and gem silence will actually block this skill, so you have to be very careful there. And so you're not going to be able to cleanse any gem silence or power gem silence if this particular card is hit with that debuff. So that's something to keep in mind. If other cards have gem silence or power gem silence, it's okay as long as this card is not hit by it, and that'll be fine. And so again, it also creates a power gem 4 whenever an enemy casts a debuff. And so it does also heal. So again, because it also has a heal element, Toxin will also block this card. So the things to watch out for are Toxin, Power Gem Silence, and Gem Silence for this particular card, because those 3 debuffs will actually block this card. So you have to be careful there. So those are the things to watch out for. And then we've got the, let's take a look at the support card here. So it's a Vinarg. And this card will basically, it increases your skill points. So the idea is, you can get to your 300 skill points faster, and then it's a nuke card. So it basically attacks for 1250%, and then adds another 200% for every 5 skill points. So at 300, that's basically 20. No, that's actually 60. So it's basically 60 times 100, 200. So basically another 12,000%. And it's a nuke card though in a Slayer event, so I wouldn't really use it too much. But what it does do is it will give you a heart power gem if you're below a certain 50% HP. The way to use this is really if you have health problems, then what you do is you would activate this card when you're below 50% to get the heart gem, and then you want to activate it last so that you do all of your drops, and then you activate it, and then you do a power gem swap with the heart gem so that you can actually heal fully. That's another way to get a full heal, and you probably use this in something like a ultimate boss, for example. Like you wouldn't use this in a regular boss because you're going to lose out on your turn if you use this. So not a great card to use in a regular boss. But I think that for for ultimate bosses, if you have no other options, it could work as well. And so let's take a look at the event card, and then we're going to go ahead and open up some tiers there. So let's take a look, and they look also similar. let's see here. So I think this is Ravlak, Stealthy Savage. So this is the event card. Now this event card is a mini version of the MC. So it does destroy gems, and it creates Dark Power Gem 2s rather than 1s. It creates 2 of those, but it does destroy gems, so it can be useful against, like I said, if you have this card and an ultra rare card, it could still work well. All right. And so is this deck worth it or not? So it depends on what your definition of worth is. I think if it's a question of should you use your saved dust to craft the Master Collection card and the ultra rare card, I think that if you don't have another good Slayer deck already, this wouldn't be a bad one to go after. I don't think you're going to have any problems with the event, and I think you'll enjoy using it. As far as whether or not you should chase deep for it, no deck, in my opinion, really is worth spending that much money over it, unless this is what your comfort zone is. So if you're a free-to-play player and you have the dust, definitely go for it. I wouldn't hold back on it. I think that's good. And if you're asking whether or not you should go to a tier that you're uncomfortable with, then I would say hold off for now on this particular vault and wait and see if there's a deal that comes out during the event, and hopefully you'll be able to get something for cheaper at maybe a 500 or 1,000 gem spend. That would be my recommendation there. Okay, and so let's go ahead, and we've got 5,000 gems, probably just enough to get to tier 4, I think. I managed to save a little bit of gems after basically using it all up on the Nicole deck, and I never really got the card I was looking for, so that was really unfortunate. All right, so let's take a look here, and it looks like I got a shark there, so the Butcher, I think, was the name. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the second tier here. Yeah, so Toxin, so Con William Deep and Arcadian also mentioned that Toxin is going to block the card. That is very correct. And so I got a pink star there, and I got the support card. So far 2 tiers, no golden ticket and no Master Collection card or the ultra rare card. I'm a little bit far from it as well myself from getting it, so I'm really hoping that I could get lucky here. So let's see, 1,425. It's going to be just enough for me to go to tier 4. So let's go and see how we do here. Timland, do I think that the last Dark Slayer will do if you have the ultimate form 3MC when you are so the way it works is the previous team is always going to give you some benefit, and so that's the relic. So it's always going to give you some benefit, and it is going to be useful in the ultimate boss. And I think that if you have the ultimate form and 3 Master Collection card, the last Dark Slayer I think is the Spirit United. It is, it's one of those teams where you can use hi. That's my daughter there. Okay, go to sleep. Okay, good night. And so I think that you could still use it, but it's going to be weaker in comparison, compared to this particular deck, for example. All right, so we've gone through 3 tiers, and nothing good there except for the guarantee. Let's see if we can get the guarantee or let's see if we can get lucky here on tier 4. It's gonna leave me with 200 gems. So keeping my fingers crossed. And if nothing else, I'll get some dust here, and I think I will be able to dust for a I'll be able to get enough dust for it, and it's not looking good so far. Eeks. So that's all the guarantees. And so yeah, so 2 event cards, and I think this is a relic. So no Master Collection card and no ultra rare card for me. Up to tier 4, got basically nothing. Yeah, so that's a very poor pull for me. So I would say, hopefully, all of my bad luck. I'll take all the bad luck so that you guys can actually do a nice pull. Let me know what you guys get from your deck here. So I do have 2 event cards. Though basically that gives me that does give me the ability to at least do the gem fall. I do have the last Dark Slayer deck, and like I said, I could actually probably craft. So I can at least craft the ultra rare already, and if I collect all of my, so I can actually collect these 2, and I think I have this card. I just have it at 4-star. I think I have Unchained Evangela. I just don't have it at 5 stars right now. So if I collect this, that's going to be another 600, 1200, and so I'm going to be short about 3,000 points. So I will be able to craft a Master Collection card near the end of this event. So that's probably what I will do here. And let's see. So what is the combo for this deck? And so let me go ahead and clear out some cards, and then I will show you how this works. So let's go ahead and clear them out. So as usual, let's do this. So let's go ahead and clear out some of the new ones first. Probably don't want to delete those cards, but I'm going to go ahead and clear out the Silver Hoof, okay, and let's do clear, and what are these? So those are actually the Wardens. So I've been actually going ahead and clearing out my Wardens pretty regularly at this point, just because I don't really use any of the off-affinity Wardens, and plus I never plan to evolve both of them. So if I really wanted one, I would just buy it back at a later point, and then I can basically use that at that point. So let's see how are we doing here. So we are still all right, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of the Wisp, because I haven't, I can always get it back the next event. Like I would only really use it when I need to. All right, so in terms of setup, let's take a look at the setup here. So if we take a look at the deck that I do have, which is group 4 here, you can see that it basically is like this. So this is the Earth version of this particular deck here, and I only have one pink star there, so 1 ultra rare card. And so for me, if you could get a shiny, then this is how you would want to use it. And you're gonna want to do the you're gonna want to use these 2 first, and I'm thinking that maybe the right order actually would be to do ultimate form last. So then you would do, you would basically do Master Collection card, and I think you could simply then just do the ultra rare and then do the ultimate form, because I think either way you're still going to be filling the board with power gems there. And then you also have the hard one Gorilla. So in this particular deck, you'll definitely want to put in your Freedom Fighters if you have it, because that nuke damage that you're going to get from the it's 5 times damage plus the ultimate form killer bonus. It's going to deal significant damage there. So definitely you'll want that for the for your ultimate boss as well. All right, so let's go ahead and show you now how it's actually used. And so this is going to be the section of the video where I actually show the mechanics of the deck without the actual deck itself. And so we're gonna go ahead and pull up a I guess we'll go ahead and I'll use Sentry Storm. Now this deck is also a beast, this is also the Beast Slayer deck. So that means that when you get this dark deck, you're gonna be able to take out Rilka really easily. And so let's go ahead and take on Sentry Storm. We're not going to take it out per se. I'm just going to kind of show you the mechanics and really how you best want to use this. So let's go ahead and show you here. So this is the Earth equivalent of the Dark deck. Okay. And so let's see. Before I do that, there's a question. So the event card is bugged and needs Feather Helm to evolve, but the Vault gives Dragon Scale. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of issues with these issues, like, these incorrect evolution evolution catalyst, which is unfortunate. So hopefully they'll fix that before the event starts. So you got a Master Collection card from the first pack. That's good. And so Johnny Tables and Sunday, 2 ultra rare from the pool. That's really good. All right. So with 2 MC, 1 shiny, 1 UR, and you would be okay for this event. Yeah. So I think that, like I said, if you have Freedom Fighter, I would actually rather, I think, put in a Freedom Fighter in there, just because it is a really, really good card to have in there. It's a 3-turn deck too, so it's going to work well enough with it. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And we are full on inventory, so let's go ahead and clear that out too. So we need to get rid of just 3 of them. So let's go ahead and clear 3 relics. We'll go and power up using. I think I have some. Yeah, I do 1, 2, 3. That's perfect. Go ahead and clear that out. So Bobster, you got two MCs, 1 UR, and on tier 4 you can force the MC and UR, which will give you a second pink start. So I would hold off on using your. I would actually hold off on using your dust to forge if you already have 1 pink star. Wait until the event starts and see what they what they give in terms of additional golden tickets. Because if they give you a golden ticket for having 2 star, then maybe it's worth it to go for it. Then you can potentially go for 3 star or even 4 stars. So I guess then the question really is going to be like, if you already have a pink star, then going for 2 is always going to give you more strength. But I'm not sure if you need to necessarily spend all of your dust immediately when you already have it. And so, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the order of sequence here, right? So you want to activate these 2, and of course, the more that you wait, like the higher the skill point, the more you're going to destroy. And then at this point, what you can do is you can go ahead and create, use the ultra rare here, and then you can also use this. So this is the first. So that's the first try. We don't fill out the board there. We're gonna try and switch the order around a little bit and see if that makes it a little bit better. And we also, we then use the hard one gorilla here. And so let's see. So in terms of heal, the heal is going to happen when you activate your Master Collection cards. And so every 3 turns, you are still going to get a heal, so that's nice. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to activate in a different order. We're going to activate the 2 Master Collection cards, and then the Ultimate Form, and then the Ultra Rare, and then let's see. Okay. And I think what you don't want to do is you definitely don't want to activate your... so it's the same thing, right? So you definitely don't want to activate your Ultimate Form first, just because by doing that, you're actually losing out on Power Gems. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So let's go ahead and do 3 more turns. And this deck is really simple. Basically, it's wait 3 turns, activate it in the right order, and then kind of rinse and repeat. And so it's all about speed with this deck at this point. Like if you're going for MVP, for example, this is a really good turn 2 deck. Like after the first turn, you can go ahead and basically take it out. All right, so let's see what happens if I go ahead and activate Ultimate Form first. Now, if I go ahead and do this, the number of Power Gems I have on the board is a lot less than the other way around. So you can sort of see, like, yes, there is still a lot of Power Gems on the board, but there's still a lot of gems, but there's far less Power Gems on the board compared to the other direction. And this is really where, if you had the other direction, where you had 2 ultra rares, then it could have basically given you a it would have given you definitely more Power Gems there, because what would happen is, and this is actually where I could put in Matcha. So like if I could do this, right? If I put in Matcha, then I can show you the effect of how it works. Because what happens here is when you when you basically do the drop, it's never going to really fill it up. And then we go ahead and create the Power Gems there, and then we do the drop here. If I had Matcha or another Ultra Rare, what it will do is it will basically fill up these 3 green ones, and then it'll fill out the rest of the spaces. So it'll effectively fill out the rest of the board for you, and so you're going to have a lot of damage there. So I would say that the right order here would be Master Collection card, followed by the Ultra Rare card, followed by the Ultimate Form. So that would be from left to right. That would be how I would want to activate this deck. And like I said, it's a really easy deck to use. You don't really have to think about it. You're going to get heals every 3 turns. Whenever the boss actually does something, you're going to get some Power Gems as well. And so it is one of those decks also, like as you go further into the deck itself, like into the fight, the higher your skill points are, the more damage you're going to deal, more Power Gems you're going to have. Now, one thing I do want to make sure I talk about is also the counters that we have to think about. And so if we take a look at this is the Master Collection card. No, this is this is the ultra rare card because it. No, this is the Master Collection card. So the Master Collection card will dispel Traitor. So Traitor is one. Traitor is okay. I mean, like it only damages you if your specific card gets hit by it. So like as many cards as you have that gets hit, that is where you're gonna get damage. I mean, it still is significant, but it's not too bad there. And I think and then Fear. So Fear is a bad one. So Fear is one that is going to be hard to deal with. So that is for the ultra rare card. And then if we take a look at the ultimate form, I would expect that to also be the same as Fear. Okay, so yeah, so we got Fear and Traitor so far, and then the support card is going to dispel Judgment. So Judgment will damage you when you heal. And so whenever you activate your Master Collection card, if the Judgment is on your Master Collection card, so instead of healing, you're actually going to get damaged. And so that is those are the three skills. And I guess Judgment could cause a problem but then if you have the ultimate form which cleanses everything, it actually doesn't matter. So Traitor and Judgment will both be dispelled anyway, so the only thing left is Fear. So Fear is the one that you will need the ultra rare card to dispel, and so I think you're not really gonna have any issues with the debuffs in this particular event with the event team. All right, so and so let's go ahead and make sure we open up the Headstart pack while I'm here. Amy's Headstart is for anybody who has had VIP for at least 12 months. And so you're also going to get additional bonus there. And so I think that is pretty much it. Like I also wanted to show the Proving Grounds, but unfortunately it's actually not available. I think what they're going to do is they're just going to run them for 5 days. And so if you take a look here, the Proving Grounds is currently closed. I think what it will do is it will open up on Thursday when it opened up last week, and then start on Fire Slayer. So you'll be a Fire Slayer boss that we're going to be attacking, so get your water decks ready for that. All right, so let's see. So we're seeing more people talking about the good pulls that they have, so that's really good. Congrats to you guys. And while I'm here, I'm just going to take a look and see if my codex. I think I have the Dark. Is that Dark Human? I think Dark Human Slayer. That is the Unchained Evangela. And so I do want to make sure that I have her if I can, because if I do craft my ultimate form card, then I'll want to use her. And I think, do I have her? Unchained Evangela. So I do have her. It's just currently at 4 stars. So I will have to buy her back. Well, I should have just waited. I should have waited and pulled it from the collections. Like I might actually pull it from the collections, but in any case, so there it is. If I need it, I'll go ahead and evolve her. The other 2 cards that you're gonna see from the collection cards this time around for this particular event. So we saw the Evangela, Unchained Evangela, which is also another nuke card. It is basically a card that will nuke for the, if there is at least 1 power gem on the board. And I think this doesn't double, right? So I think this doesn't double based on attack. Oh, it does. It attacks the second time if there's at least a power gem on the board. This used to be a really powerful card. I think that and Gladia were the 2 that were really popular. And then the other cards that we have is, so you do have Soul Reaper. Soul Reaper is an option as well. This is a good card to put with Freedom Fighter. And also with this deck as well, this deck will easily activate it. You don't really need the Freedom Fighter for that if you don't have it. And then also we have Bulava, which is just a support card from a long time ago. It's a dark tech card, and it's basically it's one of those cards that the higher your tech intensity is, the more gems it will spawn, which isn't actually a bad card to put with this deck, because you want to spawn, a full board of power gems or gems, and then you can get more power gems there. But I think if you have the event deck already, it's not going to be an issue. So let's see. So Brendan's Toys and Cars, welcome to the stream here. Thanks for joining us here. And so let's see. Can I save the golden ticket? You can use it later on. I think the golden ticket will be available throughout the event, and obviously after the event, then you're not going to be able to use it anymore. And so I'm going to save my ultra rare card dust for now, but I am definitely going to be collecting my 600 dust for Master Collection card, and that will leave me with 13.7, so basically 3.1 thousand, and that is, I actually will be able to collect that, I think, halfway through the event. So I'll be looking for getting a ultimate form near the end with my dust. So if you're still wondering whether you should go for it or not, I think it's not going to be a bad deal. All right. T. Martinez and John Wilson, welcome to the stream here. And so, yeah, so for those of you who missed it, I did not have a great pack pull this time. And so I am going to be relying on my dust here. But, you know, I kind of thinking about like what the future decks will be like. I don't really mind not having a great deck for commanders personally. And so I can always save my dust for, you know, basically I always save my dust for 2 events, basically 10 weeks. And so I'm going to be able to use my dust to craft. Then I'm going to build it up from scratch again, basically next event. And I probably will be a little low still by the next Dark Slayer, in which case it could be the Dark Yokai type deck. I don't know. Or they may come up with a new mechanic. But at least for me, I think it's worth using it just because like I know I'm not going to want to use it for commander events. Even if I had the dust, I generally don't spend it in commanders. And so for Slayers, I never have any issues spending that. And so Con William D, Bulava does need a lot of intensity to be useful. That is correct. And it's not a great card to use at this point anyway. I wouldn't use any Generation 2 cards along with your Generation 3. Like at this point, like we've basically gone through an entire cycle of Generation 3 cards to the point where there are very few Gen 2 cards that I would actually recommend. So like if you wanted, you know, if you had really nothing though, but you had at least a couple of options, then some of the cards that you could use from Gen 2, these are the ones that I will talk about. So if you wanted to use something that's useful, a card that's really going to be really good, like I would rather use a Starless Nighthawk just because it generates its own intensity, and I prefer it's also a heal card, and it can also create a lot of gems. It does the same thing as Bulava. I would rather use her if you wanted to use a gem spawner. And if you wanted a card that will give you gem fall, then the best card is going to be... Did I get rid of it? Generation 1. It's a Generation 1 card. So this card, Leifer, is no, not this one. Leifer is a good card to. It's a good card to. I guess I dusted it. It's a good card for you to basically constantly get healed. So let's go ahead and take a look at the codex here. I think I dusted that card. So we're gonna take a look at Dark, and we're gonna use that Generation 1. The 2 cards I'm looking for are the Fallen one, which is a card that's gonna give you the gem fall. And then the other one that I'm looking for is Guardian of Gaul. So I wanted to show you what the cards look like so that you can have an idea of what it is I'm referring to. I think it's Corrupt. That's easier if I use the actual types. So Guardian of Gaul is a Generation 2 card. There it is. So Guardian of Gaul is, I don't remember if there's a Slayer version of this, but Guardian of Gaul will also create power gems depending on the number of gems on the board. And so you could, you know, use this if you absolutely have no other options, but you have a lot of cards that can give you a lot of power gems, a lot of gems on the board. This would be a card that's potentially useful. And then another card is going to be, I think it's Fallen one, I think is God. I don't think it's Fable. And it's not a Gen 2 hero. I think it's a Gen 1 hero. I'm starting to forget these cards here. So Xenoscourge, Shepherd of Souls, the Fallen one. So Fallen one is also a commander card, but if you activate it, it's going to give you basically... Oh no, this is a destroyer. What is the one that is a Gemfall? I can't remember. Huh. So a Fallen one will actually destroy gems. So that's not the one I'm thinking about. There's a card that gives you a Gemfall. I can't remember what it is anymore. I'll have to search through it and think about it. There's a chance that you may not have, but I thought that there was. I thought there was one that paired well with. I thought that there was one that paired well with the Fallen one to give you the gem drop. But anyway, there's a chance that there isn't one, if anybody remembers. Papa also does do that, and we did get him from the last season as well. And so we can look at type Fable. And I mean, like, Papa also is also a card that can give you power gems, right? And so this is the card that gives you increased drop rate for the first turn. And I mean, the Guardian of Gaul also increases the drop rate of dark gems. Oh, you know what it is? I think there's a card there that I didn't have for a long time, and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, let's move on from there. It's just that there are some Generation 2 cards that I think are worth it, and there is really just a few. So when when I think about sort of like deck building and what options that we have, it invariably will be centered around those. Loki. Okay, I think that's Loki is the demigod, which would be blessed. No, not blessed. Demigod, or is it? Yes, I think Loki is the one I'm thinking about. What is Loki? What is Loki again? Loki is... What type is it? Loki is... Oh my gosh, is it not blessed? I think it is. So let's take a look. And I was not in my codex, that's why. So dark, blessed, not balanced, blessed. You guys saved me there. Yes, Loki is the one, but it has a very high cooldown. I think it's got 7-turn cooldown. Yeah, so this card will greatly increase the drop rate of dark gems. So if you use this card, it's basically a one-time use. It's like a scroll. You use it once and you're done, because by the time it comes back around, your fight's over. So you're not going to use this multiple times, but this is the card that you would pair with the following one, or in this case with your Master Collection card, to guarantee that you fill up the board. But I don't think it's quite necessary unless you only have a very limited numbers. Like if you have event cards, if you have limited options, these are some of the things I would explore. And so besides that though, there's really, I think that I don't think that there's going to be as much use otherwise, but just kind of just theory crafting some of the ideas here. So thanks for the help, everybody. That was I had to really think a little bit and had to sort of walk down the memory lane for what those cards were. So Domino, speaking of Gen 2 cards, is Dynamite Dugo still worth picking up from the shop? Yeah, why not? I mean, it's still a card that will give you a huge boost to your water human damage. And so is it currently in the shop? So yes, it is in the shop. How long will we have this? Is it going to end basically in 5 days? So it is definitely, I think if you have the gems to go for it, I would pick one up. I would imagine that at some point when there's a water human that they introduce for a commander event, this card is going to make your team go bananas, because just the amount of boost that this card gives. Basically, like if you can get at least 8 power gems on the board, it will basically go up to 500% attack increase times 10. So that's 5,000%. And you consider that plus your other cards with the empowerment and killer skill and everything. It is going to be a really powerful card to use if ever they come out with human water again for Generation 3. I mean, I think they already have, right? So it is I think it's a card that would be good to use. So let's take a look. Do they still have any water human? I thought that there was a water human that is in Gen 3. Let's see. Am I correct? No, actually there isn't. All right. So the next time that the water human deck comes out for Commander, you know that this is going to be the card that's going to break the game. And so let's see. So Sunday, imagine if you could crank up the damage of this dragon deck with the red dragon Quildarak. Yeah. That's the other card. That's the other version. So red dragon can power the dark dragon for sure, especially since this is a Slayer deck. So you guys have seen me do this once before, where I used when I had the human, basically when what was the card again? When there's a light Slayer event, and then I basically used Dynamic Dougal to increase the attack of human light humans, And also when Slayer Dark Human was, was a Slayer deck, same thing, we really increase the damage. There's like these cards from Gen 2 that boost your attack damage is going to be the most interesting in Slayers. The only thing is, decks are so powerful these days that you don't really have time to build up all this intensity to generate that trillions of damage that we used to see. Like that used to be a big deal, but I think that it is a. I have seen it though. If you use it really well, you could one shot a really high level ultimate boss. And so if you generally have a hard time with these ultimate bosses with your own deck, you could actually consider using this option to then take it down. Like that's what I saw. It does take some experimenting, and the conditions needs to be met, but it's one of those situations where it'll be fun to use. And I definitely have seen a lot of people still use the McDougal deck in the legend fights, and so I think that you can use that still. Yeah, so that's right. I mixed it with human Orsang. It was fun. So that's pretty much it for this event here. Unfortunately, I didn't have very good luck, but again, like I said, wish all of you best of luck for your particular event. And since there's no no proving grounds today or tomorrow, I'll come back on Thursday, and along with my deck building ideas, we will take a look at the proving grounds then. And you want to know, hello, I'm just about to end my stream actually, so you at least made it just on time here. And so basically some parting thoughts, just to summarize, this deck I think is good enough for you to consider spending your dust. If you don't have the deck, if you're unable to pull it, then I would use the dust without regret. If you already have the one pink star, I would hold off for now until you see what the rest of the pack is like before deciding to use your dust to craft for a 2 pink star. So that's my recommendation there. And in terms of like the best cards to put in with it, I think that I wouldn't personally use the last event deck with it, simply because the last event deck, which is Spirits United, it doesn't really do anything unless you have the ultra rare card with it. To me, I much prefer putting in the Freedom Fighters. It will still benefit from the killer bonus, and the 5 times nuke damage is going to be much more impactful than adding Spirits United. The only time I would use Spirits United is for the ultimate boss. So you would put in this event ultimate form, Spirits United, and then I would probably put in Freedom Fighters just to get that nuke damage and plus the double killer skill. Aside from that, I would not use Spirits United in this particular setup for this event. And so that's basically the summary I have here. The Proving Grounds will be back on Thursday, I believe. Since they're closed today, I'm expecting to be closed tomorrow as well. And so that's all for this event preview for me. I'm looking forward to basically just a basic Slayer without any huge changes. I don't think there was anything in the newsfeed that seemed really concerning for me, except that there's the golden ticket. Yeah, so there's basically the golden ticket, and that's about as much news as we got. And so it's just gonna be good old Slayer. So hopefully it'll be like that. We'll remain consistent, and hope you guys have fun. Enjoy. Have a good event, and I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.